I woke to the sounds of little pitter-pattering this morning, and I come out and there's all these little rabbits everywhere hopping through the bushes. So, since I'm really bad at sleeping, it's 5:30 in the morning, which is pretty early for a small town like Overton, I think. Pretty pleased with where I am for camping. It's pretty innocuous, so we'll see. Let me show you what it looks like on the street, because I'm really pleased with my camping spot. It's a for sale lot, and no one seems to care. So, slept alright. I feel terrible. Just in general, my body feels like it's quitting. My nose keeps having blood in it. I'm not having like an active bloody nose, but I keep having blood clots, and that's not fun. And then, just in general, my body doesn't want to do anything. I think 2 12 to 14 hour days in the same week is a lot. But every upcoming day is just going to be rough. Getting to Mesquite, there's just the way that one of the motorcyclists explained it, he's like, there's just a wall getting out of Overton on the way to Mesquite. I'm going a slightly different route, but it's all going to be in the same general direction. So my frame bag seems to be kind of starting to fall apart, probably the heat of the sun that it's baking in. You can see that the plastic is just, or like I think it's plasticky material at the top, like synthetic leather or something. It's kind of like starting to deteriorate and kind of melt and do weird things, so that's not too good. I'm hoping it survives till I get to Salt Lake City. I've been in Overton for the last 3 days and took a lot of rest after that ridiculous 60-mile ride in from Henderson. So mostly just hung out at McDonald's, and there's a restaurant called Inside Scoop, and so I was there most of the time just eating food and resting and getting Wi-Fi and plugging in all my stuff. I think I am now the resident homeless girl who came on a bicycle. I got to a point where when I would walk in the morning to like McDonald's, I heard like one old lady was like, oh, that's the girl who's here with her bicycle and all her stuff on her bicycle. So yeah, I mostly just left my tent set up in a for sale lot kind of off the street. No one's bothered it or me. They'll either be relieved or sad that I'm gone tomorrow when they check the lot. It's bedtime. I'm a little anxious, I'm a little wired about leaving in the morning, so my body feels a lot better. My mood does not. I still feel really like irritated and anxious, and like every little thing bothers me. I'm gonna have to do a better review of Overton later. I'm really tired. Good night. I haven't even made it 5 miles out of Overton, and I'm already facing my first trial and tribulation today. The so-called bike path, even though I keep trying to click the avoid unpaved roads, is a dirt road. That's awesome. I'm so happy about that. Pushing up a bike up asphalt would be difficult, but this is just ridiculous. I'm gonna go try to get to the top of this hill and see what it's like on the other side. The other way is the I-15, and I really don't want to get on there. I don't think it's safe. I'm at the top of like the mesa or the cliff, I guess, above Overton. I finally got to the top of that hill. Thankfully, I mean, it wasn't very long. It was like maybe half a mile, 3/4 of a mile. Just really steep. I felt like I was just carrying my bike up a mountain. Anyhow, now I'm kind of on this pebbly gravel path. I'm afraid I'm gonna pop a tire, probably will. I'm trying to bike as much as I can, because then I can do 4 or 5 miles per hour instead of walking, which is like 2 miles per hour. I'm hoping against hope that this eventually runs into another paved road. I don't know how long this will go. It could be the whole 40 miles into Mesquite, or it could be 6 miles, it could be 10, 15 miles, I don't know. Since I'm here, since I already climbed up that stupid hill, I really don't want to go on the I-15 anyways. I'm just gonna go for it. I've reached kind of a crossroads here. It's kind of like 4 different paths, and I hope I take the right one. Here's the road I just came down. And so you'd think maybe you keep going on this main looking path, but I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to come down and then kind of cut across here and take this really obvious looking path. Actually, it looks kind of better on camera than it does in person. But look, there's like even a bush blocking the way. So I can't even tell if this keeps going correctly, but we're gonna find out. I'd like to tell you a story. In New Zealand they have this thing called llama trekking. And when my friend Melina and I found this, at first we were like, yeah, that sounds so cool, llama trekking. Because it's like, you get to ride a llama through the mountains of New Zealand, that sounds pretty neat. But actually, in fact, llama trekking is walking a llama, and that's, you know, up and down some mountains and maybe by the beach, and that's what llama trekking is. And I feel like my bicycle trip right now is the equivalent of llama trekking, because I feel like I should be biking, but instead I am walking my bike over rocks because this path is too rocky. We have our first flat. And my patch kit with glue is nowhere to be found. That was an hour of my life wasted. Yeah, I've changed the tube because I couldn't find a patch kit, and now this tire won't inflate. I don't have time for this. I'm just gonna roll. I think I have like 3.5, 4 more miles till my next thing anyways, and all I'm gonna do is flat it again anyways, so I'm just gonna put everything back on the bike, roll it out, because I should be near the highway at that point. Maybe someone can help me, I don't know. I think at this point a llama would have been faster, more efficient. Are you kidding me? Yeah, this is a bicycle route recommended by Google Maps. Look at this, I'm like singing into the stupid, and look at that. Oh my god. It's been cool all morning until about now. The sun is kind of coming out from behind the clouds a little bit more. I've got a little more than a mile left on this path, and then it's supposed to be hitting another street, which I'm hoping is a paved road. I think I can see the highway from here, so that's exciting. I just saw it for the first time all day. Once I get the paved road, I want to try again at fixing this tire. At least I'll be out of the middle of the desert. Because yeah, it's, people are over there. Unfortunately, this is not a paved road. I have 3.5 miles to the old highway. I'm really hungry. Break, have some ramen. Give the tire one more try. And then head out to the highway. And the nice part about unloading everything for lunch is relative comfort. So I had to put the old tube on my tire. It was holding more air than the new one, which just had a giant hole in it. I've been limping along really terribly. Let's talk about yesterday. I started off in Overton, Nevada, which I was there for 3 days, had a rest period. And the 60 miles really kind of like wore me out. Emotionally, physically, spiritually, everything that you can think of. I was just really worn down to like very not good place. I left early on Wednesday morning, you know, usual, wake up at 3, The last night was really hard because it was super windy all night. I probably only got 3 or 4 hours of real sleep. Packed everything away, put it all on the bike, went down to the gas station, which was, you know, probably like 4:15ish. By the time I got over there, everything was packed and ready, and so biked on the way to the gas station, stopped, got some breakfast, got a full gallon of water, emptied out all the old water that had been sitting in my bottles, refilled it with all the fresh water, so that was really like a cleansing experience. It's the weird little things, I think. Started out on my way, because everywhere that I was looking on the routes, it was like, yeah, there's some bike paths down this way and you don't have to go on the I-15, and I really have wanted to avoid the I-15 as much as possible, so I was like, yeah, we'll avoid the I-15. 4:30, 4:45 in the morning, so it's quite dark, and I just have my little flashlight light on my bike, and I was like, okay, so going, and then maybe, you know, a couple miles out, it hits this construction zone, and I was like, well, this isn't good if we're already hitting dirt path. Cycle on through, it's a little bit creepy because it's dark out, and it's just me and my little bike with all my little flashing lights on it. But sure enough, not very long after that, I hit, you know, regular road again. It takes me out past this, some kind of like facility or plant, and it's like, alright, now you're gonna turn out, you're gonna go this way. And at this point, it's dark, so I can't really see very far ahead of me. I can't tell, like, what the road is going to continue to look like. And it's just, you know, mornings for some reason are always really slow, and it goes uphill, 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 just like slight uphill. So just kind of working all morning, and you're tired, and you're just trying to find your zone, and you don't want to, like, backtrack at all. So it's like, well, I'm going to go, you know, figure out where this is leading. So follow my directions, and then the road starts being less, like, maintained. I was like, this is not a good sign. But I really didn't want to go on the I-15, and this said that there's a bike route, so I was like, okay, we're just gonna trust that this is gonna get better, and keep going. So, kept biking, and then that's when my GPS navigator suddenly decides now's the time to tell me that the next turn is on an unpaved road. And at this point I'm just saying, maybe it's, you know, a little piece of unpaved road that's gonna connect me to a paved road. That'll be fine. Because it's 5 in the morning and I'm desperate and I don't want to go on the 15, I don't want to turn around, I don't want to go backtracking. And I get in a weird place where I just deny reality when it's not what I want it to be. So I was like, yeah, we're gonna check it out. Maybe it's not that bad, because I had seen some dirt roads that, you know, as long as the dirt isn't so soft, you can actually kind of bike on it, it's not too bad. And then I find the road that's my unpaved path, and you know, it seems fine. It's a little bit gravelly, like pebbly, but it's mostly like really, it's not that bad, and I can actually kind of push through it. So this is how I started on the road that then led me to roads that were not good at all. And so the farther I got, it just slowly became worse and worse road, and I kept thinking, this is a rough patch, this will get better. I don't want to turn around and go back, only to have to go up another hill up the I-15 again. I would like to make it to Mesquite today, thinking that these are things that make sense to think. So just kept going, and eventually I was just so far in that, like, even if by the time that I really truly realized that these roads were not okay, like I finally admitted it to myself and I stopped denying what I was looking at, that was when I was too far. I was already more than halfway at this point. So I was like, well, surely when it gets to the old highway, it's an old highway, it should be asphalt. I'm pushing and pulling and dragging my bike up and down these ditches and these steep, rocky things that are just not... If you had a mountain bike and you were out there for fun with all the right gear, sure, this is a bike route. If you are out there with anything that is not a hardcore mountain bike, this is a terrible place to have your bike. I just seriously was dragging my bike through terrain that my bike was not intended to be on. So sure enough, I get flat tires. So when I went to fix the tires, I was missing my patch kit. I was like, well, I can do this, I'll fix this and it'll be fine and I can keep going on, but no, my patch kit was missing. I don't know when I took it out, where it fell out, why it's gone, where it went, who has it now. I hope it's in a happy home. But, I don't have a patch kit. Well, I mean, I can't get my bike to do anything. I wasn't even supposed to be at the I-15, it was leading me to this old highway, and the old highway was not asphalt. I thought it would be asphalt, but the I-15 miraculously was right there, so I get on the I-15, throw my spare water sign out, because at this point, I've pretty much drank, I had like a liter of water left, and I carry almost a gallon with me, so I drank a lot of water that day. It was like 1 in the afternoon, I think, by the time I got there. So I had been up since 3, left the township at around 5, and it took me till 1 in the afternoon just to get to the I-15, maybe a grand total of like 12 miles. Reached the I-15, throw my spare water sign. Most people just whiz past you. It's a 75 mile per hour zone, no one cares. But finally this couple from Colorado stopped. It was Jeremy and Katie, or Kate, forget which one she preferred. But they were rock climbers from Colorado. They were working up in the mountains together, or they were working at some outdoorsy place. I think it was a ski resort. And this was their month off, and so they were rock climbing all over the national parks. So they were really kind. At first they were just giving me water, and then they realized that my tires were flat and I needed a ride. So they took pity on me, took me to Mesquite. I arrived safely and happily at my couch surfer's house. So I'm here, I'm fine, I'm happy. I've been eating. Picked up just now a patch kit with glue in it, which was what I needed yesterday. Today, my goals are to finish recharging everything, recharge my GPS, fix my tires, reevaluate the road that I'm going up in the next couple of days, and keep recharging.